All right. So welcome back for another episode of the podcast. My name is Herb. I'm with Student Counseling Services. And this is another episode of Let's Talk About It, Student Counseling and Friends. And so today's friend is Adam Roderick from Career Services. And before I allow Adam to introduce himself, just to let you know, we're still counseling. So if you're looking to start counseling services or continue with your therapist, simply reach out to your therapist or contact counseling services and you can get set up with a new appointment. Also check us out on Instagram at UAB SCS, and you'll see a lot of the virtual content we're putting out, a lot more beyond this podcast. So, stay connected with us. So that being said and out the way, Adam, what's going on, my friend?
Hey, buddy, just hanging in. Quarantine life is what it is. There's some pros and some cons. It's been good to be at the house. Get some stuff taken care of. But being away from the students is kind of a challenge, and so making sure that we're doing everything we can to keep in touch and supporting the students. But just kind of rocking and rolling.
Yeah. So tell the people your role in Career Services.
Sure. So, my name is Adam Roderick. I'm the Associate Director for the UAB Career Center and specifically the Associate Director for Career Education. And so that means for all of you guys, all students, all the interactions that you have with the UAB Career Center are part of the Career Education team. The other side of our team is the Employer Engagement team. And those are the guys who are responsible for, everyone who comes to career fairs, all the employers we have on campus, making sure that we can provide you with opportunities to connect with employers is really their primary task. And so we work together as a unified team. But my team are all the career consultants, all the peer career advisors, all the staff and student workers that you interface with when you interact with the Career Center. And, like I mentioned, we're still working, and we're still here, just like Herb and his career doing a great job with student counseling. We're still here offering Zoom appointments, some digital resources. So, we're still here. We still care about you and, support you however we can.
All right. So, tell me how, I guess you personally, man, how have you been adjusting to the quarantine life?
Sure. Little known fact, I was actually in a car wreck about 2 months ago and ended up fracturing my arm, had a plate and some pins put in. I won't get too graphic, but it was kind of a pretty serious injury. And so I was out for 2 weeks before we got the word that we were going remote. And as soon as I got excited about coming back and seeing everybody, we got the word that nobody was coming back. And so my quarantines lasted a couple of weeks longer than most people's, which is, kind of is what it is. But all that being said, the quarantine's actually been kind of good for me in that sense in terms of recovery. It's given me a lot more time to focus on physical therapy. Obviously had the wreck on I think it was the 3rd of March and had surgery 2 days later.
Okay.
And that was when everything started to shut down. And so all my post-ops, got moved around. Physical therapy, where I would be going once a week, ended up only being once every month. And so they were giving me exercises to do on my own that, to be honest, I think the work flexibility has made it easier to keep on track with those because they take some time and they're honestly kind of painful. But, having some bandwidth at the house to have a little bit more flexible work schedules made it a little easier to recover. Been good.
Yeah, I know you posted a picture of the break, man, and then some of the post-op stuff, man. It looked pretty painful.
Well, let me say this. If you're a student and you don't get queasy and you want to get the pictures and all the kind of gross details, just reach out. I'll be happy to pass it along. So.
and I see you cutting grass too. Like, what's that like? Trying to recover in that vibration of the lawnmower, like.
So let me tackle that with a couple of different things. So one of the things I'll mention, discipline is very important to me. There's a guy I follow. His name is Jocko Willink, and he has this kind of mentality that discipline equals freedom. And if you can impose discipline in your life and can control the controllables, you have a lot more bandwidth to deal with the things that are not on your docket. The things that come up and surprise you. And so for me, working out, as Herb knows, we talk about working out all the time. That's always been my kind of go-to form of discipline every day. But another thing I do a lot is the working out. I call it my motor power meditation.
Yeah.
You know, and it's kind of that special thing for me, you know, on the weekend to kind of get into that spot. And so after the break, well, right when the accident happened, again, I'm not going to get gross, but I looked at my arm and I knew that's broken, you know, like that's broken. And so one of the first things that popped in my head was I'm not going to be able to work out anymore. You know, it's going to be hard to do all the stuff I was doing before.
Yeah.
And so, you know, getting back to as much of a normal as quickly as possible has really been my goal. And so, like I said, that lawn cutting has been my zen place for years. And so, you know, to be honest, pushing quicker than I probably should have to get out there. The picture I posted, you know, I still had my arm brace on, and you know, probably shouldn't have been doing that, but I'm a little stubborn when it comes to things like that. So just making it happen and trying to get back to normal as quickly as possible. But to answer your question, it is a little bit more challenging, but I will say I have a cheat because a couple of years ago, I got one of those lawnmowers with the throttle on the dude, it's game changer. Because then you're not pushing it, you're just kind of following and kind of directing.
Yeah. I got you. So, yeah, man. That anytime like I get hurt or whatever, like the important things in life my mind doesn't go to. It's like, man, I'm gonna miss some days in the gym. Like,
yeah, I know.
Hey, all this strength I've gained, now I gotta like start from scratch. You know, it's like my mind instantly goes there. Instantly.
Yeah. And it's just it's all about finding new goals, you know. Brandon Wright, the director of the Career Center, he runs a lot. Like he runs a lot. And so I always make fun of him because I'm more of a lifter than a runner. But I'll tell you, man, I had to have some kind of physical goal. And so I've been running lately and kind of taking that as a new challenge. But, you know, I would encourage everybody, just whatever it is, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, set some goals for yourself, you know, stretch goals, things that take some work to get to. I always encourage people to kind of find something that's a little bit out of reach and work to get it in reach, you know, and just kind of find something to continually get better at. You know, we all have our strengths, but we all have our weaknesses. And I think the more you can work on those things that you can focus on developing, you know, you're just going to come out on the better side of it in the long run.
Yeah. And that's extra important when you think about, you know, where we are right now with things. You know, we're already being pushed outside of our norms and outside of those comfort levels. And so, you know, leaning into that discomfort and, you know, finding new ways to do things, you know, it's pushed people outside more. I think it's nudged people into more connections and intentional connections, even though you don't have like the face-to-face, you have versions like this. And you definitely learn more about yourself when you allow yourself to like, you know, be nudged and into those areas or even just take them on and just see what happens. And so, yeah, especially in this exercise world. I mean, you know, now you can't find a dumbbell in Walmart, but I think, you know, it lets people know you got more options than just, you know, and gym memberships. You know, you got more options than just that. All right.
But it's funny, you know, I've been watching some of the videos of people getting creative with workout equipment, you know, whether it's like lawn chairs or you know, whatever it is, you know.
And what's funny is the videos of like the home workout fails.
Yes.
There was this one I saw the other day. This lady was like doing some band work, and the band was around her feet, but she was sitting on the ground, and it just slipped off and hit her in the face, and she had to just sit there for a second and kind of just breathe deep because, you know, the fails are just as funny as the successes, you know.
But I mean, honestly, like I saw that one, and that one is easier to do than you think it is.
Oh yeah,
and anyone who knows me knows I wear Converse all the time, and I've had to work out in Converse. I try not to work out in Converse because they're not very friendly to working out. But I've done band work with Converse. If you know anything about Converse, that bottom is just flat.
Yeah.
And the thing you need with a band is like the arch in your foot to capture it so it doesn't slide. Yeah. And so there's been times where I was doing like curls or overhead things, and man, that thing flipped off and like just hit me right in the face. You know, just made me feel like an idiot.
Yeah, man. So in career services now, I mean, this is a challenging time. I mean, you know, we're not blind to what's going on around us, and then you got people still graduating college. So what would you say to the individuals who are graduating or about to graduate and, you know, trying to enter this job market right now?
Great question. Yeah. If anything you take away from this, I would say know that our request would be let us help. You know, we are here We're doing a lot of stuff. We're working harder than we have before. It is a different economy, and I think we're going to have to look at, the approach a little bit differently. But the great thing about what our students are doing, man, is they're doing the work, and now it's all the focus is just on how do we market that, because we have some special students at UAB and they're doing some really, truly amazing things. And so a lot of the times in the Career Center, all we're doing is trying just to help them brand themselves, and put out a good word about what they're doing. And so, we're doing a lot of cool stuff. Like I mentioned, all of our appointments have shifted online, so we're still available in that way. We are actually, you're probably by the time this comes out, you'll be invited to a Canvas shell that we've launched for students at UAB. So it's got a lot of great resources in there about resume interview preparation, but also career planning, career launching, that kind of stuff. So those are out there. We're doing more and more events. We're having employers come on campus. We're doing more virtual career fairs. And then also too, you're probably getting the newsletters. We're putting newsletters out every week with new content in it. And so, just keep on the lookout for those. But I will tell you this, there are people hiring. I think one of the things we work at doing in the Career Center is helping you develop life skills. I think the perception, like maybe our parents or grandparents were in where they would get a job after they graduated and that stay in that job or that company for 30 years.
Yeah.
That's not the norm anymore. And so there is a theory out there called chaos theory of career counseling, which looks at how we continually reinvent ourselves over our lifespans to adapt and adjust. And so what we do in the Career Center is really help you focus on those skills, tie yourself to skills more than specific, like particular employers, and help develop yourself in that direction so that, whenever the time comes, you're ready to capitalize on whatever opportunity is right there in front of you.
Yeah. And that's a good point. Like with the chaos theory, you're constantly reinventing yourself. And I was telling somebody in a session earlier today or yesterday was that, I came to UAB when I was, I think, 39, 38 years old, and I'm 41 now. And even though I'm still in counseling, like going from community counseling to higher education counseling is a definite career shift, especially from where I was, headed, being in community mental health. And even with some of the things I've been able to do since I've been at UAB. And so constantly being able to reinvent yourself and try stuff. I heard, I think Brandon said this recently to somebody else, and it was just relayed to me, is that, keep applying for jobs. You got to still apply. You got to, continue to put yourself out there. And there are places hiring. I see where Amazon, they have the new location investment where they've been hiring like crazy. And so people still hiring and, so yeah, good information.
We just I saw the other day that we got the contract for I hope I don't butcher this, the F-35, that new jet that the military is building.
Oh, wow.
And so that's going to bring countless jobs. But I will say too, and this may seem like a shameless plug, but Handshake is the place to go. with our Handshake platform, we have, well over 10,000 employers in there who want to talk to our students. And so I would encourage students to continually look there. We're like, one of the newsletters we're going to have coming out here pretty soon is, companies that are still hiring at Handshake right now. And, I would encourage you, don't give up. Like, there's still opportunities out there. And, more than ever, we're here to help support you in that. So, take us up on that.
Yeah. And that's important. Students need to know that these things exist. And just because things are slowing down around us doesn't mean things have stopped. You keep going, you keep applying, you keep, doing your part. So definitely. And the services is available. I think that's one thing that we're doing at UAB and in student affairs is that, we're finding ways to be creative to continue to do the most important thing, which is make sure the students are, have what they need to be successful.
I agree. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for the students. And, all of us are here because we care about the students.
Exactly. So what advice would you give to just the uncertain graduating senior right now?
Yeah, that's a great question. First I would say I feel bad for, I know it's a bad situation and I feel for you. And, if anything, just know that we're here to chat. We're here to help support. I hate that, graduation worked out the way that it did. I hate that your semester ended as abruptly as it did. And I feel for you. So first and foremost, I'd say that, and I appreciate your resilience and being able to push through that and still get to that ultimate goal. But yeah, come chat with us. We're here. Like I said, we're still 100% at operation speed, and would be more than happy to figure out what kind of strategy we could have. But again, like I said before, think more about skills than destinations. I think it's good to have a goal in place, but right now it's really important that we focus on developing skill sets, communicating those skill sets to employers. So even if it's above and beyond, like, your academic, your campus stuff, like if you can just get into Khan Academy or volunteer in the community, or start networking, talk to professors about people you can talk to in the community that are in the fields you want to work in. There's things you can do right now proactively to continue to work on your career, even if you don't have a job offer on the table. Because they'll come, those offers will come. We just got to make sure that we get to a point where we're ready to capitalize on it when they do arrive.
Yeah. That's good information. That's good advice. And I don't know if you can tell this, but Adam himself is a counselor, so he definitely has the lingo and the language. And I imagine that comes in handy with what you do.
Yeah. I mean, my blood still is deep down. I'm still a counselor, and I think that's, just to kind of give everyone some insight. Yeah, I got my master's in counseling, and then I worked in serious mental illness with patients with serious mental illness. I worked in eating disorders. I worked in the employee assistance program for the UAB employees for a while. And then, to be honest, like, I think higher education really spoke to me because it was an opportunity to work a little bit more proactively, because a lot of times with mental illness or just, struggles, a lot of people are in bad spots, and so to me, I kind of started thinking about it from the other side and said, what can I do to kind of help people avoid getting in those situations? And it's not perfect, stuff comes up that you can't plan for, but if you can put people in good situations through higher education, it was a great opportunity. So, started in advising, and then went to the UAB Teach program, and I've been in the Career Center now for a year, and really just loving this because, I know I'm biased, but I feel like what we do is what it's all about. Preparing students for success following graduation is really, really important. It's a great return on investment for our Blazers in the community.
Yeah, I feel that's, and just knowing you, that's one of the ways we connect. I think we share a lot of the similarities when it comes to how we approach counseling and just working with people in general. Because one of the things that drew me just to be here as a therapist was the ability to do more outside of the counseling room. And I'm definitely, see the value in that. And it just helps to create that wraparound sort of feel when it comes to working with the students. And so, yeah, we definitely connect there. And
well, and to brag about her for a little bit, I mean, if anybody is out in the community more, I can't think of anybody better than her to do it. I mean, I see you walking around campus all over the place, and I think that's fantastic because counseling can be so isolated if you let it, and it's hard to break through that. But to have that true connection with students and let them know you're here and that you care about them, you got to be where they are and let them know I'm invested in your journey. And I care about you. I mean, you do a fantastic job of that. The whole counseling staff does a great job of that. I hope students are still taking advantage of that. Now especially.
Yeah, and the beauty of it is that they are, and with Angela's leadership and Dr. Kennedy, and then just individual people on the team, like to go from. I remember the Tuesday before we went, remote, it was one meeting was, well, we might be going home for a while. And then it was, well, they're thinking about extending spring break. And then, it just kept extending to the point where it's like, okay, we need to be certified in telemental health immediately.
Yeah.
And as, adjusting, and then that first week of being at home, it was just, I know for me personally, it was chaotic because there was no structure. There was no clients. It was just, we're trying to finish certifications, having Zoom meetings, getting used to Zoom and all these different things. And it was, I know, sports. It was like scramble drills. It's just trying to figure it out. And, but, kudos to the team individually and collectively is that, we figured it out. And then, pretty quickly got to the point where we could, provide services to students again, and then hit the ground running from there. So it definitely.
I'm glad you said that, man, because I remember, I graduated from UAB with my undergraduate degree back in 2009, and the counseling program is, it's not even comparable to what I had when I was here on campus. And y'all have done a fantastic job of and let me be clear, like, it's not just that you're doing counseling. Y'all have done a great job about doing other things, engaging in students' experiences on UAB, and I think that's critical. And I think seeing students in the good times as well as the bad times is important. And so having y'all around campus doing as much of the amazing work that you're doing just makes me happy, man, and it makes me feel good for the students, and I know that they appreciate it.
Yeah, it definitely extending beyond the counseling room. It makes a difference, because not everybody needs counseling, but we all can use some sort of like connection and service and education, like our resiliency program, and control the controllables, and our suicide prevention program, things that people just need, even if you don't need that one-on-one experience of counseling. So yeah, it all comes together, because one thing, that we do a good job of is that collaborative piece, which I know is something that's important in student affairs, like how we're connecting from department to department, and having opportunities like this to where students who may look at our stuff get to see your face, and also it normalizes the individual as well. And so, so yeah, just of course at the end of the day, making sure the students have what they need to be successful. All right. So yeah. So let's shift gears.
Okay.
I got something I want to try, and so you get the first person to try it.
Oh, the guinea pig, I like it.
All right. So get my screen up here. And so trying to get the share thing to work here. I tell you, it never works sometimes, but here we go. All right.
All the downtime's making me nervous. I don't know what you're about to spring on me.
All right. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see that.
All right. So this is one of my favorite segments for one of the podcasts I watch, and this is One Gotta Go. One has to go. All right. So we're looking at this list, and we'll just take turns going back and forth, all right? And so one gotta go. So basically, we're going to do it like this. You're going to say which one you're going to keep first.
Okay.
And why.
Okay.
And then we'll get down to basically the end is like which one won't make it the list.
Okay.
So you only keep 3 of the 4. All right?
Okay.
So what's first up for you? Which one is staying?
Oh, so I get first pick?
Yeah, you get first pick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm going to say the pancakes. And I'll tell you why, because that is a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
I try to eat healthy just in general, but oh my gosh, I will do some damage for some pancakes. So I will pick the pancakes. I'll be honest though, this may put some people off. I'm more of a waffle guy than a pancake guy, but let me explain.
Okay.
The waffle comes with like pre-selected designated areas for your syrup. You know what I mean? So you get like the maximum syrup distribution as opposed to a pancake.
Yeah.
If you don't eat a pancake pretty quickly, it'll either get soggy or your syrup is just all on the side, right?
Man, the picture of the pancake is very misleading to what pancake syrup really works like. That's good, but for pictures. But in reality, you got to spread the pancakes out. You got to spread that syrup around a little bit, because that's very misleading on how the syrup really goes with pancakes.
But see, like the syrup pocket in a waffle is just it's pre-made for perfection, right? Like it's just like, because when I go to like Waffle House, and this sounds crazy, I make sure I get syrup in every single one of them, so I get equal distribution of every bite.
What I like, I'm not a waffle guy, but I do like Waffle House waffles. And as far as like, you already got the areas like kind of even divided out for you in the fours because of the waffle iron lines, and
Yeah.
so definitely. All right.
Yeah.
So first one to stay for you is pancakes. I know for me, it's going to be grits.
Yeah.
I grew up on a farm, country boy, and if you can make grits the right way, we're in there. And
So
butter.
let me ask you, do you like the sweet grits or the savory grits?
If by sweet you mean putting sugar on them, no.
Yeah, like some people put sugar in it, but some people put like bacon in it or like ham, like.
You know, essentially every time I make breakfast or I eat breakfast, it turns into like a casserole dish because the eggs, the meat, and the grits all just go one and together. I just mix it
I
all
like
up
it.
and stir it up and just eat it that way.
I like it.
But no sugar on grits. Give me butter, give me pepper, give me salt, and I'm good. Yeah.
I got you.
All
All
right.
right.
So what's next for you?
All right, so I'm going to make some enemies with this one, I know for sure, but I'm going to pick the eggs. I'm not a big bacon guy.
Yeah.
And eggs, I mean, I eat eggs almost every day, and it's just a good staple. It's very filling. It's nutritious. You can do a lot of stuff with it. I mean, you can make a casserole with it. You can make scrambled eggs with it. You can put cheese on it. Put it in a burrito. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff you can do with eggs. So I feel like my pick's going to be eggs.
All right. And I follow suit with eggs. I love scrambled eggs. I love boiled eggs. I love omelets. I'm an egg individual.
Yeah.
And doing the way I eat, I do a lot of green smoothies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so boiled eggs is one of the staples of my diet. And I'll even, for breakfast, if I have extra boiled eggs left over, I'll eat those with breakfast.
Yeah.
Like I just, the egg grit combination is undefeated for me.
Yeah. And the thing about eggs, they're so cheap. Like you can get a lot of eggs for not that much money.
Yeah, man. And let me tell you, I'm a boiled egg person. And so I knew how to boil eggs over the stove or whatever. So we got an Instapot sometime last year.
Yeah.
And that is the best thing ever created to boil eggs.
That's funny.
Ever. I'm telling you, it's just like 5 minutes and they're done.
Really? 5 minutes?
5 minutes and perfect.
That's crazy.
1 cup of water, dozen eggs, perfection.
Wow. That's fast.
Yeah. Perfection.
That's fast.
All right. So we both got eggs. So that stands. So you're at the last one. Which one are you keeping, man?
Grits. I mean, I think, like I mentioned, I'm not a bacon guy. I like grits. I'm not as big on grits as Herb is big on grits, but yeah. I do like grits. I don't know, just something about bacon, man. Like, it just doesn't do it for me. I know that's crazy talk, and people think I'm ludicrous for saying that, but I've never really been into like bacon crunchy or kind of meaty, but it's not my thing.
All right. So for me, this is tough because I'm a sweets guy as well. But I'm keeping bacon.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not a huge bacon guy. But I'm more of a biscuit person than a pancake person.
I got you.
And so I think that sways, but I'm very particular with my bacon. It breaks like a stick when I eat it.
Oh, seriously?
I need it to be as crunchy as possible. If this meaty or soggy or that white fat stuff on the side of it ain't cooked and fried to perfection, then throw the whole plate away.
But you gotta be careful though, because if you get it too crispy, you start like jabbing yourself in the roof of your mouth when you're taking a bite of it,
And see, that's why when you mix them in with the grits and the eggs, it just all comes together in a great way.
That's a great point. So now you're just making that casserole again, right?
Casserole. I just have breakfast casserole every time I have breakfast.
I love it.
Whether it's rice or grits, it's all the same. Breakfast casserole.
I love it, man. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I enjoy a good pancake. I always have. But if the bacon's cooked right and I have the biscuit option, then I'm good. But we eat a lot of pancakes in my household because my daughters love pancakes. And my wife makes some really good pancakes. So, but I don't necessarily eat them as much as they do. I may grab 1 or 2. But
do y'all do like the straight pancakes, or you put like blueberries or chocolate chips or anything in it?
Just straight pancakes. My wife likes all the stuff in the pancakes. Now, I'll tell you what I do like. Waffle House does a peanut butter waffle.
I've had that.
It is amazing. And put some jelly on that. And
Yeah.
it is amazing.
Well, I'll
Try
tell
the
you a weird.
pancakes are the same.
Well, my wife recently made pancakes out of muffin mix. I don't know how she did it, but she had like blueberry muffin mix that she was going to do like in a little pan, like you make individual
Yeah,
muffin.
yeah.
But somehow she put them into pancakes. They're actually really good.
Oh wow, that's interesting. I got a mosquito flying around me. That's what happens when you're out here on the deck. This is a very transparent podcast. This is what I do on a daily basis. I'm out here on the deck. This has become my home office.
I like it.
Yeah, it works out.
I mean, if I had that deck, I'd be out there right now too, man.
Yeah, it definitely come in handy. When we bought the house, it was like, this deck may come in handy, and it's doing that right now.
I like it.
Birds chirping and everything, but I left my door open back there, so I got mosquitoes coming in.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so well, man, I appreciate you, sitting in with me and having this conversation. This was fun. I know that people are going to love to see it, man. We're going to I'll let you know when it comes out, but the podcast does drop on Tuesday at 4:30. If you go to our counseling page, you'll see it there. You'll see a link to our YouTube page, and we're in the process of, trying to get on Apple with the other UAB podcasts too. So that will be coming. And anything you want to say before we go, my brother?
I would say just hang in there. Thinking about the students, I would say, hang in there. UAB is still here. We still care about you. And, we're eager to help support you. I know it's a abrupt ending to the spring semester that no one planned for, but that doesn't mean we don't care. It doesn't mean we're not here. So, whether it's student counseling, whether it's career services, whether it's whatever office you guys need support from, I know we're all eager to continue to help you. So just reach out. We are still here and eager to support you. So I'll just leave it at that.
All right. That's right. Reach out. You don't have to do it on your own. So whether it's counseling services, career services, whatever else we have going on in student affairs, we're all working. We're working from home. We're doing everything we can to meet the need of the student. So you all have a great day, and we will see you all in the next episode. Bye.